Hey there, hello there. It's Jeff Cooper Diamond. Welcome to another Stone Cold Hockey video. This is unusual because of the fact that, you know, I've been doing the 74-75 flyers and all that. Well, that will be coming up soon enough. But anyway, today, June the 12th, 2025, Stone Cold Hockey released a new season, the 2025 season, where all the players for the 24-25 season in town, even though that the Stanley Cup champions and runner-up have not been touched yet. We don't know if Edmonton or Florida will win the Stanley Cup. Anyhow, I decided to do all 32 24-25 teams in a 32 team tournament, no seeding. It would just be basically randomization. And we're going to do a thing with it because if you remember, and I don't think you do, I did a 13 season tourney. This was the 14th NHL season that is for Stone Cold Hockey. There's 65, 68, 71, 75, 79, 84, 91, 94, 06, 12, 20, well, 22, 23, 24, 25. So the last 4 years have been Stone Cold Hockey things. Personally, I wish there was a gap between the gap between 94 and 06 gets taken out. Maybe like 99 or 2000, and a gap between 2012 and 2022 is taken up by like 2017, Austin Matthews. But it was thinking. So here we go. Everyone's playing 7 games. Here's the playoff. Everything is random, remember. So Carolina will take on Tampa. Pittsburgh will face Washington. Oh man, Crosby versus Ovechkin. Carolina, Tampa. That's a big one. Dallas, Los Angeles. New Jersey, Edmonton. So some Adam Henrique versus former team. Montreal, St. Louis. Okay. Detroit, Seattle. Calgary, Columbus. Oh man, the Goudreau Bowl. Toronto, Florida. Oh man, they just had to draw. They just had to have Toronto draw Florida. Fuck. Colorado, Winnipeg. Well, they met in the first round, right? I think so. Anaheim, Utah. Okay. Minnesota, Vancouver. 2003 all over again. Rangers, Islanders. Oh man, they drew Rangers, Islanders. Ottawa, Nashville. The Mike Fisher Bowl. Vegas, Boston. San Jose, Chicago. Celebrini versus Bedard. And Philly, Buffalo. Good referee. So we're gonna autoplay every series until we can get to seven, until we get maybe some game sevens. So here we go. First game, Carolina Tampa. Carolina wins game 1 3-2. Kokachov beats Johansson. Tampa goes by Hedman and Gunso. Carolina goes by Aho, Jarvis, and Orloff. Pittsburgh, Washington sees Washington with a shutout. Charlie Lindgren with a shutout. Charlie, but yeah, shutout over Jari. Strom, Protas, and Connor McMichael scoring no Ovechkin points. That's a weird one. Dallas with a shutout over LA. Casey DeSmith, the shutout over Kemper. Wyatt Johnston, Ruby Hintz, and Ben with a pair of goals. Of course, this is the rosters from the final team, so Rantanen will be on Dallas instead of Colorado, or even Carolina. New Jersey, Edmonton. New Jersey wins game 1 on home turf 5-4. Skinner losing to Nigel Dawes. Edmonton was up 4-2. Goes by Draisaitl, Hyman, Ekholm, and Draisaitl. New Jersey goes by Dawson Mercer, Tatar, Jack Hughes, and then Tatar Sauce with the winner. Montreal, St. Louis. Montreal won game 1 5-2. Montembeault beat Binnington. St. Louis goes by Neighbors and Holloway. Montreal goes by Logan Mailloux, Nick Suzuki, Alex Newhook, Nick Suzuki, and then Jake Evans. Yeah, Logan Mailloux is actually a controversial name in Montreal because he's the asshole who was in trouble for making fun of a student with special needs. Of course, that boils my blood. Detroit, Seattle. Detroit wins 5-1. Mrazek beats Grubauer. Only Seattle goal was Jaden Shorts. 2 goals by DeBrincat, Lucas Raymond, Austin Watson, and Dylan Larkin scoring for Detroit. Calgary, Columbus. Columbus with a shutout. Merskins over Vladar. Of course, they're doing it for Johnny Gaudreau. Severson, Adam Fantilli, and Matthew Olivier with the goals for Columbus. Toronto will go to Florida and get their asses handed 5-2. Fanasek beats Hildebeest. Nyes and Nylander scoring for Toronto. Boquist for Hagee, Kachuk, AJ Greer, and Sam Reinhart for Florida. Colorado beat Winnipeg in game 1 3-2 as Blackwood beats Eric Comrie. Winnipeg goes by Avalo and Morrissey. Jack Drury with one and Mason making it with two. Anaheim wins in overtime. Mason McTavish at 353 from Terry and Gudas. Stauber losing to Dostal, and that's not Rob Stauber. Minnesota beat Vancouver 6-1. Marc-Andre Fleury beats Lankinen. Only Vancouver goal was by P.S. Sutter, Eriksson Ek, Jurasek, Hino Strola, Frederick Gaudreau, and then Frederick Gaudreau ended his hat trick for the Wild. Rangers beat the Isles 3-2. Sure can be Hogberg. Honor goes by Palmieri and D'Angelo, former Ranger. Ranger goes by Zach Jones, attorney Panarin, the Breadman, and DJ Mika Sabirja. DJ Mika. Ottawa beat Nashville 2-1. Forsberg beat Annanen. Giroux and Bafferson for Ottawa. Craig Smith for Nashville. Boston beats Vegas 4-3. Swayman beats Samson, Ilya Samsonov. Boston goes by Coyle, Pasternak, Sack, and Brasso. Vegas goes by Braden Helden, and Schwinn with two. Of course, the Rat Marchand isn't on the team because the final team that before Florida. In the Prospects Bowl, San Jose in overtime for run at 159 from Toffoli and Kunin as Georgia beats Soderblom. Game 2 and Buffalo crushed Philly 5-1 as Kolosov lost to Lukanen. Cam York for Philly. Buffalo goes by Suker, Tage Thompson, Rasmus Dahlin, Jason Tucker, and Alex Tuck. Suker and Tuck. All right, so Pittsburgh Washington game 2 sees Pittsburgh win in overtime at 6:13. Sid the Kid scoring a goal, proving that he still got the juice. And ties in series. Dallas wins a narrow 1-2 under halfway home. Casey DeSmith, the hero Sagan, and Thomas Harley for Dallas. Fiala for LA. Edmonton beats New Jersey to tie up that series at 1. Pickard and beat Markstrom. New Jersey scored the first goal, but Edmonton scored the last 5. Draisaitl, Ekholm, Draisaitl, Connor, and Kasperi Kapanen. These fans know who he is. St. Louis beats Montreal to tie up that series. Bennington beats Keaton Prino. Montreal goes by Anderson and Caulfield. St. Louis goes by Bodek, Broberg, and Jake Neighbors. Detroit beats Seattle. They're halfway home. 2-1. Leon beat Decor. Chandler Stevenson for Seattle. Bugren and Soderblom for Detroit. Calgary overtime over Columbus. Uyghur from Ball and Hooby Dooby Doo. So Calgary's tied that series. Toronto won game 2. Wow, 4-1. Stolarz beats Bobrovsky. Baladskis for Florida. Butter goes by Chris Tanev, John Tavares, Austin Matthews, and Max Domi finally coming through. I'm a little bit biased, I know. Colorado is now 2-0 up on Winnipeg. Blackwood beat Comrie. Appleton scored for Winnipeg. Colorado goes by Middlestead, Kel McCarr, and Nikushkin. Anaheim's now halfway home, 4-2. Dostal beats Ingram. Utah goes by Keller and Cole. Ian and Keller. Lacombe for Toronto. Seagrass and Lacombe for Anaheim. Minnesota now halfway home, 6-3. Gustafsson beat Lankinen. Vancouver goes by DeBrusk. Kiefer Sherwood and Quinn Hughes. They're up 3-1. Zuccarello, then Kaprizov, Faber, Rossi, Kaprizov, and Chisholm for the Wild. Rangers are halfway home, 4-1. Shashir can be Farlamov. Holstrom loses Trocheck, Brzezinski, Easy Kreider, who just got traded to Anaheim. Of course, this is the night when Kreider got traded. And Adam Fox. What does the fox say? Goal. No, he does not say meow. Smoke. Nashville in overtime. Ryan O'Reilly, 11:48 from Shea and Yossi. Doing the job. Vegas now ties up their series for Boston 4-1. Schmid beats Cook Basello. Marchand scoring for Boston. Well, that's a mistake because he played for Florida. Nicholas Waugh, Barshev, and 2 from Thomas Hurdle. San Jose is now 2-0 up. Georgiev beats Knight. There's Celebrini with Toffoli. Mukhamadullin? Good grief, I'm going to have troubles with that name in my sleep. Barkley, Goudreau, Wenberg, and then Toffoli for the Sharks. Blackhawks goes by Tyler Bertuzzi, Nick Foligno, and Alec Martinez. Remember him, guys? Philly wins their series with Buffalo. Fedotov beats Luukkonen. Buffalo goes by Tuck and Power. Cates, Couturier, Forster, and Eric Johnson for Philly. And the last game 2, Tampa crushes Carolina in Divine Powder. Johansson beats Kukacha. Carolina goes by Jordan Stahl, 2 of them. Ego, Nick Paul, Ryan McDonough, Perbix, McDonough, and Cirelli. for Tampa. Dallas, LA. Dallas now is up 3-0, 4-2 win. Ottawa beat Rittich. We kind of have to get it going because I want to get this done quick. It's a bunny. Edmonton crushed New Jersey 7-4. Skinner beats Markstrom. Edmonton goes by Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, Jeff Skinner, Kitchener, Podolson, Hyman, Kulak, and Connor. Montreal loses 4-2 to St. Louis, being it to be Montembeault, Slavoski, and Caulfield from Montreal. St. Louis goes by neighbors Shen, Brady, and Pareto. Seattle cut that down. Grubauer beats Cam Talbot. Calgary wins 5-2, and Columbus will beat Tarasov. Columbus goes by Corrali and Fabro. But Calgary goes by Ball, Caranto, Michael Backlund, Caranto. Leafs, do they win? Yes, they do. 4-3 as Wool beat Vanasek. Toronto goes by Nylander, Tavares, Nick Robertson, and Alex Steves. The immortal Alex Steves. Florida goes by Sam Bennett, Matt Kachek, and Sam Reinhart. Winnipeg wins 4-1, so now they come back. Conroy beats Wedgwood. Namestnikov, Miller, Lowry, Adam Lowry, and Scheifele for Winnipeg. Kurfeta for Colorado. Anaheim is 1 win away, 4-2. Gibson, Kitchener with Ingram. Utah was up 2-0, but Mason McTavish, 2, and my favorite Anaheim Duck, Cutter Gauthier. Minnesota beats Vancouver. Vancouver's in trouble. The only goal was Marcus Johansson in the third period from bullying Kaprizov. Gustafsson with the shutout. Rangers are now 1 win away, 3-1. Shazur beat Hogberg. I'll go by Bull Harford, by Trocheck, Easy Kreider, and Jimmy Fessy. Remember him, Ranger fans? They're looking pretty good. Ottawa loses to Nashville 3-2 as Saros beats Maryland. Cousins and Baverson for Ottawa, but Nashville goes by Del Gaizo, Philip Forsberg, and Roman Yossi. I thought he was retired. Boston wins on the Procassion at 5:03. Pasternak from Poitas. Chicago beats San Jose 2-1. Kaiser and Tyler Patrizia for Chicago. With Will Smith for San Jose, not the actor or the LA Dodgers catcher. Buffalo beats Philly 4-3. Looking at Fedotov. Carolina beats Tampa 3-2 as Kokachuk beats Johansson. And finally, Washington beats Pittsburgh 7-4. Ovechkin scored twice. That's what you need to know. Ovechkin's in the series. Okay, Dallas, do they sweep LA? No, they don't. LA wins 4-1. Comfort does the job. So Dallas does not get the sweep. Anaheim, do they get the sweep? Yes, they do. They sweep in overtime. My man, Cutter Gauthier. His second from Killorn at 8:06 of overtime. Dostal beats for Gemcastle. Anaheim's in. My man, John Gibson's in. Minnesota, do they sweep? No, Vancouver wins 5-2. Lankin beats Wallstead. Rossi and Boldy, but Vancouver goes by DeBrusk. Rotti, DeBrusk, Rangers, do they sweep? The answer is yes, they do. 5-2. Johnny Quick beats Sorokin. Others goes by J.G. Pachot. Fuck that guy. And Palmieri. Ranger goes by Brett Berard. Will Cooley side of the pillow. Panarin, the Breadman, Trocheck, and then DJ Mika with the winning goal to ice it and send the Rangers to the second round. All right, Carolina loses 3-2 Tampa. Johansson and then gets quick catch up. I wonder what's wrong with Vasilevsky. So that series goes to at least a game 6. Pittsburgh in overtime to force at game 6. Raquel from Malkin and Hayes at 11:01 of overtime. Edmonton wins 6-2. They're up 3-1. Pickard beats Jake Allen. New Jersey goes by Noza and Bastian, but Edmonton goes by Kasperi. Hyman, man, Leafs fans will rue getting rid of him. Hyman again, McDavid, Skidder, Kitchener, and Kulak. St. Louis crushing Montreal. They're up 3-1. Montembeault can't believe it. Gallagher and Suzuki scored for Montreal, but the immortal Cam Fowler scored. Ranger fans will crone, I think. Detroit beats Seattle. They're 1 win away. Lion beats Stakor. Calgary beats Columbus. They're 1-1 away. Florida beating Tarasov. Columbus goes by Sean Monahan. You know, the guy who won the Masterton. Varensky and Vonrakov. Calgary goes by Hooby Dooby Doo. 2. Kirkland, Hanley, and Blake Coleman. Toronto wins 3-1. They're 1-1 away. Wool beats Knight. Lundell for Florida, but nice Tavares and Patrick Holmberg. Pontius Holmberg, I should say. Winnipeg now 2-2 with Colorado. At least a game 6. Conway beats Blackwood. Niederreiter and Barron for Winnipeg. Crifita for Colorado. Any more games? Ottawa beats Nashville, so at least that's a game 6. Allmark beats Saros. Brady Tkachuk scored. Vegas beats Boston. That series goes to a game 6. Samsonov beats Swayman. Pasternak scored for Boston. Hurdo and Brandon Saad for Vegas. San Jose wins in overtime. Celebrini looking like he's going to move on over Berard. Overtime goal by Toffoli from Ferreira, 4:54. I haven't seen Celebrini. Oh, there's a goal, and Connor Bedard with an assist. And finally, Philly beats Buffalo. That's a game 6 at least. Urson beats Luukkonen. A lot of 2-2s. Dallas. Did they win in 5? No. LA's forced a game 6. Rittich reached to Smith. LA was up 5-1. Dallas scored 3 goals, but they couldn't score enough. Edmonton, are they in? Yes, they are. 4-2. They had a hiccup, but they did it. Pickard beats Markstrom. New Jersey goes by Hamilton and Lazar, but Edmonton, 2 goals by Connor McDavid. He's now got 6. Nuge, Hopkins, and Arvidsson. St. Louis, are they in the next round? No. Montreal in overtime. Gallagher from Slowhasky and Evans off of Bennington, and Montreal's forced at least a game 6. Detroit loses at home 5-2. Decor does his job. Poor Detroit. Calgary, they do their job. They beat Columbus 5-1. They're in. Wolves beats Merskins. Olivier for Columbus, but Calgary goes by Coleman. Sorry, Fardaby, Paco, and Michael Backlund. Toronto, do they do the job? They actually do. 4-1. They beat the Panthers. Wall beats Knight. Matthew Tkachuk for Florida, but Matthews with 2, Marner and Nylander. So Toronto beats Florida on dice rolls, and yet they can't win in real life. Well, Florida is fucked for a chance to get in as a wild card team. They don't get out of the first round. Minnesota shuts out Vancouver. They're in. Gustafsson beat Tolopilo. Who the hell is that guy? Middleton, Nyquist, and Zuccarello from Mini. San Jose, do they end the series? Yes, they do in overtime. Grundstrom from Barclay and Will Smith at 4:21 on the power play, and Chicago loses, and it's Celebrini over Bedard. Carolina won 3-1 over Tampa. Anderson beats Ian Hansen. Freddie Anderson, fully. Washington beats Pittsburgh in overtime. Strom from Bovelli and Dubois at 8:13, doing his job. Colorado wins in overtime over Winnipeg. Middlestad, 100. Are you serious? They played 131 minutes of the game. Middlestad from McKinnon. So they freaking went through, what, 131 minutes. So they went through 71 minutes of overtime. Well, the 60 minutes in regulation. Winnipeg had to come back to tie it on a Pionk, and then they went through 71 minutes of overtime before Colorado finally scored. That's 3 full period. That's quadruple overtime. Wow. And that's it? No, that's not it. Ottawa's now up 3-2. Maryland beats Sernins. Godat and Bafferson for Ottawa. Ryan O'Reilly for Newsville. Boston in overtime over Vegas. Geeky at 8:58 from Pasternak. And Philly beats Buffalo. They're now 3-2 up. Urson beats Luukkonen. Carolina, is it over? No, it's not over. Tampa wins 7-2, forcing game 7. Johansson beats Kokachov. Jarvis and Ruslovic for Carolina. Point Hagel, Goncalves, Zornak, McDonald, and Gutso for Tampa. So that's a game 7. I think Tampa has. Does Tampa not have. There's Vasilevsky. Yeah, Vasilevsky's there. Washington, Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh wins in overtime. They force a game 7. Rust at 11:23 from Heinen and Crosby. So that series is going to game 7. Dallas will lose to LA. They were up 3-0. Kemper beats Ottinger. Now, did Dallas fumble? Will LA reverse sweep Dallas? That's my question. Carolina and Tampa, no one's really taking advantage. Carolina's won games 1-3-5, Tampa 2-4-6. Pittsburgh and Washington, well, Washington's won 1-3-5, Pittsburgh 2-4-6. St. Louis gets rid of Montreal 4-1, Binghamton beat Montreal. Caulfield's good for Montreal, but Texier, Cairo, Braden, and Buchnevich for St. Louis. They move on. Detroit. There's a game 7 in Detroit. Decor beats Mrazek. Seattle goes by Nyman. Jordan Eberle, remember, he's still around. Shane Wright and Vince Dunn. Detroit goes by Comfort. Patty Kane, he's still around. And Matt Casper. So Detroit was up 3-1. Could Seattle pull off a massive comeback? Colorado loses to Winnipeg in overtime at 11:32. Lowry from Filardi and Iafallo. So it was actually 12 minutes of overtime this time. Colorado, well, no home team has lost for that narrative. Ottawa beats Nashville. They will move on. Olmark over Saros. LaRue for Nashville, but Bafferson, Sanderson, Cleveland, and Janssen for Ottawa. Boston wins in overtime. They move on. Pasternak is 6th at 4:04. Yeah, Brad Marchand should not be playing, but yeah, Boston beats Vegas. And in the end, Buffalo beats Philly to force a game 7. Luukkonen over Kolosov. Yeah, that's too tough to call. So, yeah, 21 minutes. So we have 6 game 7s to go through quickly. Tampa, Carolina, Johansson in that against Freddie Anderson. The immortal Dustin Tokarski. Fuck, I hate that guy so much. Vasilevsky not playing. He must be hurt or something. Any Kitchener Rangers? Not really. I don't see any Kitchener Rangers around. So we're just going to go straight ahead. Do this. Let's go into the game. Tampa, but the penalty is set for Hedman. Let's go on field. Steph Jarvis from Shashnikov and Jordan Stahl. 2 minutes later in the first inning, Tampa delivers a hit. 2 more minutes pass by. No shot. 1 minute later, a fight. Braden Point and Kokiniemi. Both pretty good forwards. And Steph Jarvis. Jarvis brings him again for the second time from Brett Burns. 2-0 Last moments of the first period. Tampa, Purdue? No. Tampa is really in trouble. They have a chance. No. Much later. Mark Jankowski from Brett Burns. At 3-0. I don't think they're going to come back and win. Well, auto finish. Yep, 6-2. Tampa did score a pair, Hagel and Purby, but Carolina, Martin Kokiemi and Ahoka. And Carolina sends Tampa home in game 7. Washington, Pittsburgh. It's Tristan Jarry versus Logan Thompson. There's Ovi, there's Crosby. You know, those two guys. Dylan Makaroff, he's still on the roster. Ramison Dean. Taylor Reddish this time. Pittsburgh had a lot of guys leave for free agency. But not Rust. 6 from Grizzly. 1-0 Pittsburgh. 1-0 Pittsburgh. 1 minute later. Rust again. Lasad was going to say. Nothing. I know who Washington is. 5 minutes later. Oop. He's rattled. Get him. Get him. That's what the pain does. From Crosby and Grizzly. Oh, it's just 2. Oh, it's 3-0. I think this game's over. No, it's not. Washington comes back from 3-0 down to win game 7. Unreal. I thought it was over. But Washington 3 goes in second period. Wilson, Protas. Eric Carlson made his 4-3, and then Churchin. Of course, Ovi would do that, his 4th, and do Heyman the empty net. I thought Pittsburgh would have won, but I guess not. Washington. What a choke job by Pittsburgh to lose 3-0. LA Dallas, David Rittich, and the Otter coming in. There's Rittich. Drew Doughty still around. Brett Clark. Trying to see any. Where's the one guy from Dallas who was a Kitchener Ranger? I don't see him. Fuck. 5 minutes into the game, LA takes a chance. Stopped by Auditor. Much later. That was stopped by Riddich. It's good. Jason Robertson from Bennett Marshall. Remember, Dallas was up 3-0. They don't want to be reverse swept. And normal first period for once. That was a chance? No. Much later. Nope. Those Steelers, Matthew Shane finally comes out of freaking over and scores. It's a 2-0. Matters. 3 minutes later, a fight between Jano and Dumba. Matt Dumba. Well, the veteran Dumba. Well, LA cuts Dallas down a defenseman. But it doesn't look like it. Dallas up 2-0. They gotta hang on here. Will they hit? Will they good enough? I think the Kings will come back this time. There's no way. Nope, LA can't do anything. Bishop and Sagan score. Auditor with a shutout, and LA is foiled in their reverse sweep opportunity. Seattle, Detroit. Seattle down 3-1. Joey Dacor, the main guy. There's Grubauer and those guys. Peter Mrazek in the net. Yeah, it's not no Talbot, no line. They go Mrazek. Well, former Red Wing. There's Tarasenko, Patty Keenes, former Rangers, JT Comfort. Oh no, I guess he wasn't a former Ranger. I thought he was for the longest time. Jimmy Olisiak, Jordan Eberle, Capocacco, former New York Ranger. 2 minutes into the game, no shot. A miss and a score. Asamont from Dunn and Eberle makes it 1-0 Seattle. 3 minutes later. Chance for Seattle's a double. No, sir. 4 minutes later. No. 4 minutes later. Okay, Raymond from Bergen. I'm like. 3 minutes later. Detroit delivers a hit. That's 20. It's 1-1. Now trying to come back from 3 down. And Rasmussen almost scores. Seattle Skiers. Beignets from Tolvanen and the Kraken are up 2-1. I almost said the wrong name. Much later, no shot for Detroit. Much later. Seattle gets the penalty, and it's going to be Olisiak. They can't get Mott or Eberson. Last moments of the second. And Detroit cannot tie the game. Seattle's up 2-1 with 1 period to go. 3 minutes later. Chance hit. Much later. And the clock. Rasmussen, no. 4 more minutes. Seattle, no shot. 4 more minutes. Detroit trying to tie, it can't. Now it comes to 2 minutes. Chance for Brigham. Stop by Decor. We could be in for a thing. Jared McCann sweeps it in the net, and somehow, in some freaking way, the Seattle Kraken are going to move on to round 2, knocking out Detroit. Detroit was up 3-1, but those pesky Kraken do the dude. And Detroit fans are like, what the hell just happened? The Seattle Kraken are going to the Sweet 16. They were down and out, but pull it off. I gotta see Detroit's shit. Well, Mrazek 1-2. Talbot 0-2. Alex Lyon should have been the main guy. Yeah, Alex Lyon was 2-0. And they trust the other two goalies, Mrazek and Talbot. Seattle, on the other hand, Duckworth 3-2. Grubauer 1-1. So now we have 2 more game segments to play. Winnipeg, Colorado. And it will be Eric Comrie versus Mac Blackwood. You see Wedgman and Georgiev and Trent Miner. Winnipeg with Mark Scheifele from Kitchener, but he's not a Kitchener Ranger. He's a Barrie Colt, so I can't really say Kitchener. I would love Logan Stanley I keep thinking, yeah, Lucas Stanley, Kitchener. There's Luke Shen, former relief. Miles Wood there, DeHaan, Booker O'Connor. Yeah, Gabe Landeskog's not on this roster, which is pathetic. 2 minutes later. Winnipeg, no shot. 3 minutes later. Sure, Jonathan Drouin finally scoring goal. And yes, that Ivan Wright is not a misprint. That is his real fucking name. Learned that at World Junior coverage. Double hit. Much later. Trying to kill the clock. Carl is like that. Winnipeg? No. Ehlers. Trying to score. Ehlers. Yeah, no home team has lost in this series. Gresham? Waterfall is Bauer, but Winnipeg gets penalized. It's Miller. Chance for Colorado? No. Krupita. There's the goal. Lehkonen from Gerard McKinney. Battle action. Steelers. Morrissey, his second from Connor and DeMello. No action chance. Steelers. Ehlers from Scheifele, and Winnipeg's tied it up. Carlo's like, what the hell? What's happened? Aggression. Oh, it's Scheifele. And so it's Steelers. Calls Tom Carr from Parker Kelly. The Norris Trophy winner. Much later. Has to do it? No. Drouin. Carlo's up 3-2. Winnipeg was down 2-0 and tied it up. Much later. Carlo trying to kill the clock. Taze gets hit. I'm killing the clock, man. It must be. We're getting empty nets now. And Winnipeg can't do anything in the third period, and the Avalanche, thanks to Game 7 at home, win 3-2. Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, they rode Eric Comrie the whole series. I don't know why. All right, so that's one more series, and that's Buffalo Philly, and it will be Luukkonen versus Vadatov, and Urson and Kolosov. Looking at James Reimer still around. Devin Levy. Yeah, Reimer the backup. Nadi Valeri, Obe Kubel, Bernard Pin and Krebs, Rasmus Dahlin, Tage Thompson. There's Mitchkov, the prospects, Sean Couturier, Cameron York. It would be a lot better if Carter Hart was on there. Double hit. What's yours? Couturier from Samura and Utah. It's a K, not an H. Definitely trying to get back here. They do. Tech Power, his fourth from Kulik and Olin Power. Much later. Christmas stuff from Connecticut. Now 2-1. 2 minutes. Battle of Rescue. Philly with a chance, but they can't. Battle second. Chance for Buffalo. Tuck can't do it. 4 more minutes. Buffalo can't do it. 2 main Flyers through 20 minutes. Tuck, of course, traded from Vegas to Buffalo for the one of one Jack Eichel. Buffalo, no. Tuck, I thought, scored. Another chance, no. Much later. No. 2 minutes later. In the zone, auto zone, Vadatov. First delivers a hit. Second period, Flyers looking like they're going to win this series. Skiers got Krebs, his second from Melchian and Peterka. He's trying to pass those spots 6 minutes later. It's Tage Thompson, of all people. Philly, they get Ristolainen and Bobby Brink to do nothing. Much later. Philly? Sam York from Soundtime and Connecticut. Will the Flyers win this series? Probably. No, they won't. Peterka somehow scores from Power and Zucker. We got a Game 7 overtime. Unreal. Philly took 3 leads and Buffalo has done everything right. On overtime. into it. Philly, no, Forster can't do anything. Much later. Overtime for huge stuff. And the prospect can't miss, and we'll move on to the second round. They beat Buffalo on Prolakashi on. So now we got our final 16. It will be Calgary, San Jose. Interesting. Colorado, Washington. Anaheim Rangers. Oh man, Chris Kreider will have to face his future team, and what's his name? What's his face? And Truba the Tuba will have to face his former team. Wow. Edmonton, Philly. Okay, that's got flashbacks to the 80s. Leafs play the Blues. That Blues aren't a hard team, but maybe they might. Leafs might win. Dallas, Ottawa. That could be critical. Carolina, Boston. Oh boy. And Minnesota, Seattle. Yeah, I think this will be an interesting matchup. Personally, I think it's Calgary San Jose is going to be too close. Celebrating might pull one off. I think Washington will take down Colorado. I think the Rangers have to take down Anaheim. Edmonton has to take down Philly. Toronto better take down St. Louis. Dallas will probably take out Ottawa. Boston and Carolina will be probably evenly matched. And I'm going to honestly say Minnesota Seattle looks evenly matched too in the Sweet 16. So we might have some very critical matchups, maybe some game sevens to deal with. And by the way, goal scoring, Brian Rust of Pittsburgh has 7 goals. He has the most. Points wise, Connor McDavid with 14, Dylan Strome with 12. So yeah, Connor McDavid is Connor freaking McDavid. And Gustafson, the shutouts race, well, how do people have shutouts? There's only been 7 shutouts. 2 by Philip Gustafson. If anything, Minnesota's got the goaltending needed for the shutouts. Oettinger and DeSmith both have a shutout for Dallas. Allmark, Merskins, and Lindgren with the other shutouts. So yeah, Philip Gustafson might be the key here. Minnesota might make a come from behind thing. We'll never know. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.